So, as early as last month, I was watching the classic Chuck Jones version of The Grinch because, in my opinion, there's never a bad time to watch it. But last month, when I was watching it in preparation for the holidays, it made me think about something. Maybe Christmas is one of the most important reasons never to lose sight of your childhood. Yeah, most original idea in the world, I know. It's no secret that I'm one who tries to keep my inner child alive and active through everything that I create. I abide by the philosophy of developing an adult mind, but staying a child at heart. It's no secret that I divulge in stories, then follow writers and artists who do the same thing. Classic children's authors such as Roald Dahl, Dr. Seuss, and Charlie Brown Christmas never gets old. The sad truth, however, is that the world is filled with people who seem to continue to believe that being an adult means having a cold heart, chasing money and power, and always trying to be on top. You can try all your might to show them the error of their ways and what getting enveloped in all their adult affairs will do to them and the rest of the world, and they won't be swayed. You can point to all the people and environments that they are hurting by being power hungry and trying to grab more money and cultural status. But to them, wealth and cultural status seems to be just the bottom line for it, and even those who don't have enormous amounts of money or power are just so caught up in remaining financially stable, understandable, but they have tendency to lose sense of the philosophies of how to be a good person and are only focused on staying alive long enough to maybe play the next popular video game or go out for another drink at a bar. If you ever happen to know or encounter anyone in life who's only focused on getting by, not about retaining that purity in the world, because according to them that's just too childish, ask them to consider this. Christmas tends to be that notorious time of year where we see the most people committing suicide out of fear of not being able to make ends meet. These suicides are frowned upon and often referred to being weak as cowardly. But instead of reprimanding the ones who suffer from this sort of holiday stress depression combo, try looking at it through their perspectives for a minute. When a person doesn't look fondly on the holidays, it usually tends to be due to associating it with the stressful parts of it, like not being able to make payments or maintain relationships. And the holiday to them feels like an obligation more than anything else, as the holiday specials like the aforementioned Grinch that I brought up seem to be aired more out of obligation than anything. And when you see families actually having a good time together or hear jolly holiday carols whilst under all that stress and pressure, how does it affect you with the knowledge that you can't feel the pleasure that others feel? Kind of starts to kindle a sense of self-loathing in you, doesn't it? Sort of ignites that demon voice inside your head that tells you like you are an awful, undeserving human being. Or at the very least makes you feel fearful at the prospect of having to face the shame of falling short of your relationships or financial stability. But as a kid, Christmas is the time of year you look forward to the most. It's easy to say that because at that age you don't have to concern yourself with overspending, and that's partially true. But children don't favor Christmas just because they're more enthused with the prospect of the gift getting rather than the gift giving. Or at least that's not how I was. I know that not every kid was me. In fact, I was actually very different from most kids growing up. But I was not one who cared if we spent Christmas at home or ended up stuck in an airport. So long as I was with my family, I could open presents any time of the year. Christmas was just that one time of year where we could reflect on everything good that's happened to us that year. And it was also that time of year where we could just remind ourselves to be thankful of stuff that we might have forgotten to be thankful for at Thanksgiving, or stuff that's happened to us since then. And for most kids, Santa isn't just a figure who gives presents. He's a figure who encourages generosity and empathy, and he's not someone we're just constantly trying to impress so that we get a prize for the holidays. He's someone we admire as much as the original St. Nicholas himself. Someone who made things for individuals that he was sure would bring them joy and expected nothing in return. It's also why kids get scared of sitting on the lap of a cranky Santa at the mall who might go ballistic at the slightest provocation. Despite all the talk about the cheer that holiday classics bring, such as Grinch or Charlie Brown or It's a Wonderful Life, they tend to feel more like they're being put on reruns each year just because they have to, because people don't like change. Yes, we get a new holiday special every now and again that has just as much heart and soul put into it, but then there are those people who exist only to ride the holiday bonanza bandwagon. And it's especially hard to come across an adult-oriented special that perfectly encapsulates the true spirit of the holidays. Because a lot of stuff aimed at adults is focused only on winning awards and advancing careers, while just being something that can play in the background at a party. But those who actually love these holiday classics love them because they're the one thing that has never lost sight of the true meaning of the holidays, and those who created them did so out of a sense that they owed their audience something. There is a significant difference between simply remembering your childhood and appreciating it, just as there is a great difference between simply reciting all those Christmas philosophies you hear from TV specials and carols and truly understanding what they mean. As adults, we tend to get so caught up in the prospect of success and treat it as the be-all, end-all to being alive. Be born, go to school, get a job, and not starve to death, just make enough money to retire, spend the last few years of your life in a nursing home. And the message of the holiday classics, or just classics in general, tends to just be regurgitated at best, like when a kid is just memorizing a certain fact so that he can pass a test at school, rather than truly absorbing what he's learned. The people who are on the brink of snapping and taking their lives due to the stress of the holidays, they don't need your scorning or disapproval. They need your support. Yes, it feels natural to have to disregard that inner child in order to toughen up and be able to bear the burden of the adult world. And becoming an adult also means coming to terms with truths that are very hard to acknowledge and feel like they exist just to kill your happiness and faith in humanity. Whenever I'm in a situation where I'm confronted with the cold hard truth, I just do what every adult and press on, but then I do one thing that children who love Santa do. I extend generosity without expecting anything in return. Being the highlight of other people's lives will give purpose to yours. So how does one deal with the stress of maintaining relationships with loved ones during this time of year? Here's one solution. Remind people closest to you how much they mean to you year-round. It really helps a lot more than you might realize. Indeed, presents are special because you only get them on occasion, but you don't have to get presents for your loved ones specifically on the holidays. You can do it any day of the year just to let you know how much they mean to you. And heck, getting them a gift some random day of the year can make up for any unexpected circumstances that pops up and may prevent you from being able to get them something for Christmas or on their birthday. And of course, there's the fact that the root of holidays happen to come from religion, which is no stranger to controversy. You know how to overcome the obstacle of having different core values and beliefs? Take the time to give people best regards whatever holiday they celebrate. And whatever their outlook is on life, encourage them to believe in what benefits them most. And yes, I would dare say that if you're a Democrat, take this time of year to give the genuine best holiday wish to a Republican. I do not consider myself particularly religious, but I do consider myself to be spiritual. And I think the most important part about being spiritual is believing in something that's greater than yourself. When Christmas time comes around, sure, I'll gladly listen to classic Christmas carols, but I'll also put on songs that ignite a sense of self-importance to myself and the importance of being a part of this world. You may or may not have heard this before, but I think it does bear repeating. Don't think of holidays as just permission to set good examples for humanity. Think of them as a reminder. Let them remind you of what others fought so hard to give you the opportunity for that they couldn't have. Don't reserve that special kindness for this time of year. Make it a habit. I do that, and I've developed a really wonderful circle of friends, and I have a good job because of it. It is really true that if you try to make yourself someone who serves a good purpose in someone else's life, you will find purpose in your own life. And with that, my dearest regards to you and best wishes with whatever holiday you celebrate.